Hey guys, it's me Muhammad from the Soft Learners, and in this video we are going to study different types of receptors present on the cell membrane. Now consider it a cell. Now there are many hundred types of receptors present on the cell membrane, but we will discuss only here which are important regarding our exams. Now the first class of receptors that we are going to discuss here, it is a whole class. It consists of hundred of different types, but we will discuss only some of its important types here. Now this type of receptor consists of a polypeptide chain which passes 7 times through cell membrane. A polypeptide chain, let me show you. Now a polypeptide chain, it passes 7 times through a cell membrane. Now this polypeptide chain has 2 points, an external domain and an internal domain. The external domain is present in the extracellular environment and the internal domain is present in the intracellular environment. Now this external domain is also known as we have studied before, ligand binding domain, and this internal domain is called as effector domain. Now our ligand will attach to this ligand binding domain, and in response to this binding, effector domain show a response in the intracellular environment. Now this type of receptor, as we can see, it is passes through a cell membrane 7 times. Let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Now this type of receptors is also called as 7-pass receptor, also known as 7-pass receptors. Now there is another name for this. As you can see, it is showing the appearance of a snake, like a snake. They are also known as serpentine receptors. Now their first name is 7-pass receptors and their second name is serpentine receptors. Usually these type of receptors have a trimeric protein linked with them. This trimeric protein consists of 3 subunits: a main subunit. This is a trimeric protein linked with this type of receptors. Now this trimeric consists alpha subunit, beta subunit, and gamma subunit. Now this trimeric protein is linked with this serpentine receptors, and there is an attached GDP molecule with its alpha unit. Now this whole protein that is attached with serpentine receptor, because of the attachment of a GDP with it is called as G protein. And as it is attached with the receptor, these receptors are also known as G protein coupled receptors, because they are coupling with a G protein. That is why they are called as G protein coupled receptors. G protein is basically a trimeric, consists of 3 subunits: an alpha subunit, a beta subunit, and a gamma subunit. With an alpha subunit, a GDP is attached. Now this whole system is called G protein, and as it is coupled with the serpentine receptor or 7-pass receptor, this is called G protein coupled receptors. This is the first class that is present on the cell membrane of a cell. Now there is another class which is present on the cell membrane. This class, unlike serpentine receptor, this class passes only one time. That is its external domain, that is its internal domain, and it is passing only once. As you can see, it is also a polypeptide chain and it is passing only once through a cell membrane. That is why the name we give to it is 1-pass receptors. Now 1-pass receptors, the external domain is also called as ligand binding domain, and the internal domain is called effector domain. Now in this type of receptors, the effector domain is specially an enzymes linked with it. So their another name is enzyme linked receptors. Enzyme linked receptors. As you can see in a G protein coupled receptors, there's a ligand attached with the ligand binding domain, and the effector domain is attached with a G protein. While in 1-POS receptors or enzyme linked receptors, the effector domain is specifically attached with an enzyme. Let me show an enzyme. This is called enzyme, and this enzyme is attached with the effector domain, and that is why they are also called as enzyme linked receptors. Apart from these two classes, there is also a third class that is present on the cell membrane. Now I'm going to show you here. This class. Now, as you can see, it is basically a channel. It is a channel, and usually it passes ions when it is activated. That is why it is also called as ion channel. Now, there are two types of ion channels. First are voltage operated, and other are ligand operated. The receptors are basically ligand operated. They have the ligand operated ion channels. Ligand operated ion channels have specific pockets attached with them. To these pockets, different types of you can say ligands attached, and in response to this attachment, these ion channels open and they pass some types of ions through it, which changes the intracellular environment. Now these are the three basic types of receptors that are present on the cell membrane. This is all from this video. In the next video, we will discuss the G protein coupled receptors in detail. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel.